and if you want to share something you learned from studying the symbolism in them that seemed to be something important for the collective.
I think it has to be the last one I created, which is this one, a woman warrior that's riding on a jaguar. I think you can really tame a jaguar, but it wasn't about the realistic aspect of it. It was more about like the spiritual and the psychological meaning of it. It's a bigger issue than a physical one. Mm-hmm. It's a spiritual one. So that's why I'm deciding to do like this series of these women warriors that are like fighting against these forces.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Blue Hour podcast, where we explore the minds and the worlds of visionary artists and creators. So this is the very first moon segment of this season with Kimberly, an amazing artist, and hopefully you'll get to see a side you've never seen of her. She also will offer practical advice on how to take care of your pottery, and if you're someone that does clay, one of the secrets she's developed over time on how to take care and rehydrate her own clay. So she's gonna give this advice later on in this episode, and you'll see what's going on behind the scenes. So hopefully you enjoy. The Visionary Rose gift is officially started, so you can apply. It's free. You get the chance to get money, an art residency in Spain, and a bunch of other prizes. So go on the website in the link below to go check that out and apply. Also, if you want to help the channel grow, don't forget that we have some very beautiful and comfortable merch. We have 2 colors of one size oversized hoodie with drop shoulders. You can see that on the website. So yeah, let's jump right in. All right, Kimberly, this is your studio. Yeah. Thanks for having me here. Part 2.
Welcome to my studio.
The moon aspect, where we kind of try to go deeper into your subconscious mind, see what's going on in there, how you process with your work, and on a more subjective level. So the first part is a 3-part question. It's called the soul journey question. And you'll see there's a very straightforward, linear aspect to it. So first question is called the initiation. It's very simple. You have to answer what gives you the most joy. Since you were born, what is something that has been a constant source of joy for you?
Constance. Okay, I feel like there's a difference between a constant source of joy and the most joy.
So constant in the sense that it's something that keeps coming back. Of course, there's going to be it's not constant in that way, but it comes back throughout your lifetime. It has come back throughout your lifetime.
I think it's the beauty of life, beauty of the world. When I go outside and I see a beautiful plant or a sky or a sunny day or a colorful garbage can that they painted, just those little gems. It's like noticing the beauty around. That's like a nice source of joy, and also it's very grounding as well.
Okay, and throughout your lifetime, question 2, the descent, what has been a challenge that seems to arise that keeps you from experiencing these sources of joy throughout your day, throughout your week?
The mind. Yeah.
And more specifically?
I think it's the overthinking, or the not living in the present, or focusing on problems, or anticipating problems, trying to be 2 steps ahead of everything. Yeah.
And so how have you had a moment where you caught yourself, anticipating or overthinking, and kind of alchemize the moment to come back to this source of joy? How does this and that's the third question, is the rebirth, how you merge both?
Yeah, I think I noticed that I had certain thought patterns that would always kind of lead to this pattern way of thinking. And it's just like working on stopping myself when I notice it and try to like either switch it or accept that it's happening and letting it like pass through in my mind. I think it's a very long journey working on redirecting the patterns in my mind. And so it's gotten better, but yeah, still work to do.
Yeah. And I guess if it's like nature, you describe a lot of nature and colors and stuff like that. I guess winter is like probably a season where that's a bit harder because like there's no more nature in Quebec anyways.
Yeah, I guess there's less visual distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So second part, I call them flash questions, thunder questions, whatever you want. Series of questions to understand your subjective mind. What is an image or symbol that haunts you in a beautiful way these days? A symbol that's reoccurring in your life.
A symbol that haunts me.
In a beautiful way.
That's very contradicting.
Oh, okay. We love that.
A symbol that haunts me.
You can ask another perspective, a symbol that just is coming up a lot. Like a theme, a concept, something.
I don't know. I think just one of the things that is always the easiest, or just initially without thinking, that happens whenever I draw. When I feel like drawing, I don't know what to draw, is always leaves. It's always plants. For some reason, it's always been that. And I don't necessarily consider myself knowledgeable in plants or in different types of trees and all of those different species, but it's just, yeah.
So have you thought about it before? Like why the leaf?
No. It's weird and it's contradicting because I don't necessarily feel like I know how to draw it, but I constantly do.
Because in a way, like, I'm going metaphorical here. The leaf is like almost like, imagine you put your hand up to the sun and then the sun gives you information. And the leaf, that's what it does. It captures the information from the sun and transforms it into food that can exist on Earth and serve other purposes. So perhaps there's something there. Like the sun is the soul, it's kind of the spirit, and it's kind of a receptive, almost like a hand that's drawn out to receive guidance, or kind of a...
Yeah, maybe. That could make sense. I'm always looking for guidance. I'm always asking for guidance. So, yeah.
Next question. So, have you had any particular or vivid, meaningful dreams recently?
I have been dreaming a lot lately. Sometimes it's like, it's strange, or it's related to my day-to-day life or certain people. I think it's just a reflection on what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah, just to process your personal life in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Which element, like water, fire, earth, air, do you think you have a strongest connection to?
I would say earth.
I mean, you do have a lot of earth objects.
Yeah. And like in sidereal astrology, I do have a lot of Taurus placements, so I always resonated with that. And connecting to the earth and just being grounded, or constantly in search of being grounded. I feel like I spent a lot of my years, like a good 20 years of my life, dissociating, or almost 20, I guess. So finding ways to ground myself is always very important.
Okay. If your art could communicate one message directly to the collective subconscious, what do you think it would be?
Let's see. Does it have to be a word? Can it be a sentence?
Can be whatever you want.
I think it's about it's the same as one of my solo shows title, like Our Minds Create Our Reality. Just an awareness that our minds are actually very powerful. You can manifest the things that you think about, and they do. They just don't happen like you're a magician, you know? It's not like I think of an apple, I'm going to have an apple. But, you know, if you think of buildings, like someone had to imagine making a building and then it became a building. You know what I mean? Like I had to imagine these and then they became in the physical world. And that could go like very, you know, on the surface level, or it could also, you can really go in the deeper meanings of what that means in general as a collective, and how we have to be careful of our thoughts and be aware and conscious of what's going on in our minds.
Which of these cultures for you has had the most transformative impact on you?
Transformative, I think, well, they're a bit separate right now, but I did make 2 brick walls with figures in front of them. So that one goes with this one, and that one goes with that one. That's a bit like a more of a hunted wall. And that's very much just a direct reflection of what I just explained, you know, how our minds really do create our environments, our reality, and they affect not just you, they affect your community, the ecosystem around you. It affects everything.
What is a myth or a folk tale, fairy tale that you find yourself thinking a lot about these days?
Myth. Which one of them? I think I'm the fact that birds can be considered like a ancestral guidance for us is, I guess, something that I do think about a lot. Less when I'm in Montreal. I feel like it is more intense when I'm back in Colombia, because there's just a lot more different birds and species, and you can hear them singing a lot there more. But yeah, I feel like there's signs everywhere around you.
Cool. Do you have a memory that feels like it belongs to another lifetime?
I feel like not necessarily a memory, but maybe a feeling when I create. It feels like it belongs in a different lifetime. I don't think it's very coincidental that I'm working with clay. I don't think it's a coincidence that I work with all of these subjects, that I'm fascinated with pre-Columbian ceramics. I feel like there's, you know, I lost like the tangible like lineage, but it is there, even if I can't really grasp it. And I think it does go way back in a way that I don't really know how to explain.
Yeah, it's very abstract, but I get it though. If you look at the Ketu planet in astrology, it's the connection of what you're bringing forth in this lifetime from past lifetimes. I'm sure we could get a lot of information with that.
I feel like once when I was in university and I was creating, and it was the first time that I was starting to create with these cosmologies in the back of my head, and I was making sort of these. I was making these snakes that were going around like this column, and in that moment, I thought, oh, like I'm, back in the back then in the past, they had artists that would create these amazing like buildings and amazing artifacts and all that, like in the I don't know, I was thinking about Egypt, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been to Egypt, but I know like their buildings are like full of art. And then I was thinking about how those were the artists back then, and how I'm in a way doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From all the art that you have here, or maybe some that's not here, which one, when creating it, seemed to have revealed you the biggest secret? And if you want to share that secret, like something you learned from even studying the shapes of the sculptures or the symbolism in them, that seemed to be like something important for you or for the collective.
I think it has to be the last one I created, which is this one. I decided to make a woman warrior that's riding on a Jaguar. And it's a very, in a way, fantastical story. Like you won't necessarily see someone riding on the back of a Jaguar. I don't think you can really tame a Jaguar, but it wasn't about the realistic aspect of it. It was more about like the spiritual and the psychological meaning of it. And I feel like with the subjects that I'm talking about, and with the how do you say that, the restraint there is to making decisions that are going to help our ecosystem, making decisions that would help people collectively, is always kind of being pushed down by greed. It's just making me realize that this is way more of a, it's a bigger issue than a physical one. It's higher than that. Mm-hmm. It's a spiritual one. And then I was thinking about the word spiritual warfare that I've been hearing and seeing here and there. So that's why I'm deciding to do like this series of these women warriors that are like fighting against these forces that are set to kind of push us back and not let us evolve and, destroy ourselves.
Mm. And it seems like the feline, category of animals, felines are also known symbolically to see in the dark, and metaphorically that's kind of the subconscious mind or the realms above that, which we don't see with our naked eyes. So it's like the warrior with the third eye vision, or the visionary warrior in a way, mm-hmm. that is not fighting physical threats, but is changing mentalities and thought patterns in another realm in a way.
Yeah.
Feels like this is connected. And what is the symbol of the face of on the legs?
Yeah, so you can't necessarily see it from this angle, but there is another face, and they're snakes. That's just how I would make my snakes. I have a little one here, for example. It has a different pattern, but this is the pattern I've been starting to use more and more.
Okay.
So yeah, I was thinking, because she's not necessarily fully human. She's kind of also has a bit of a reptilian aspects to her.
Mm-hmm. I really love that one. Well, I love all of them, actually. So this is pretty much it for this segment. And then you wanted to share a practice that you do, like that you're in the process of doing. I think it's a good timing, so you can show people.
Yeah, it's just ceramics is very high maintenance, and it requires a lot of consistentness and for time. But you know, sometimes life doesn't happen that way. So this is a bit too hard. This is like the base of a piece that I'm gonna make, and I have some cheesecloth that I soaked in water, and I'm just gonna squeeze out the water.
So you would do this when you have a piece that you didn't have time to finish, and then you have to continue it, but it's too hard now.
I would, yeah. I mean, yeah. Whenever a piece is a bit too hard for me to continue, or I need it just to be a little bit moist for the like the technique I'm about to do. But I use cheesecloth because cheesecloth holds in the moisture, and it's the best way to rehydrate something. Like technically in about like 30 minutes I should be able to unwrap this, and then it would be like pretty moist again, and then I'd be able to start all.
How long had it been drying?
Well, I've had it underneath some plastic for less than a week. I think it's been drying quite quickly. Yeah, so then I'll just
And this, you were saying you're making a flower?
Yeah, I'm making a planter. A planter because this is more of a personal project at this point, but my plant is growing. It's a tree actually, and she needs more space. And I've been promising it to her, but I haven't had the time, and now I'm making the time because she's my responsibility.
Yeah, you're like the mother taking care of the daughter.
Yeah.
The daughter plant.
So yeah, that is my practical
So then you
skill.
wrap it up again in plastic and squeeze it so just the air doesn't come in.
Yeah, exactly. So it just holds moisture. Like you don't have to necessarily do that. It's just that I think because I want this to be flat, I'm just gonna do that.
Right. Cool. That's a good quick tip for anyone that does pottery and wants to continue working on a piece that feels like it's, because most people, that if this would happen to you without this technique, what would you do? You would just...
Well, I feel like a lot of people would decide to spray water, but the problem with that is that it sprays unevenly. So you only have certain sections that take water, and then, you know, it will absorb too quickly on one part or the other. When it comes to like clay, it's always best for everything to be about the same consistency, even if you attach things that are different consistency, to find a way for everything to kind of like end up having the same type of moisture. It's going to avoid any type of cracking and any bad things happening. It needs to feel like whole, you know, like a piece, not just like a collage. It can't really be a collage. If not, it's gonna crack and it could break.
Sweet. Yeah. Any last words? Or...
Oh, well, thank you for coming to my studio.
Yeah, it's great. Is there other pieces that I haven't shown? Is this yours here?
No, that's my friend's.
Do you have these?
Yeah, these.
This is a cool one.
This.
The little flowers. Little shells. It can be like a little altar.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Like you put some little precious objects inside and incense, and it's cool. And that's not yours. Okay, cool. And this is there going to be something on top there?
Well, basically that is, it was like a portal that I made. It's just like, it's, you know, I made it so that I could store them a bit separately, but yeah, like this is the bottom, this would come, and then that's going on top, and it should be like this high.
Wow.
Yeah. So
maybe when we release it, you can share me an image of it.
Yeah.
I can post it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was enjoyable and you got to see a different side of Kimberly in her own studio, and at least learned a little thing about her and her practice. If you did like, please don't hesitate to subscribe, write a comment, and it really helps the channel grow and the vision to expand. Also, if you're watching this, that means the Visionary Rose gift is officially launched. You get the chance to win a residency in Spain, some money to finance some mentorship, to learn different spiritual techniques to grow your vision. And it's free, so it's going to be in the link below. You can go see what's up with that. And if you want to support the channel, of course, just a comment or subscription is more than enough. But if you resonate with the brand and you want to help us directly, you can buy some merch. We have some Rosenbra merch, 2 oversized sweaters that I'll put images of here. You have the dark navy one and the theme color of Rosenbra, which is a kind of a dirty pinkish sunset color. So you can find this on the website too. There's a few left, limited edition, so go support us this way if you can and if you resonate with this. Thanks for watching, and see you in a few days for the next episode with Marie-Danielle.